Hi there, I'm Mrs. Weiss. Welcome to Latin Storytime. Today I'm going to be reading you the story of the fisherman and his wife. But first, let me introduce the Latin words that you'll hear in our story. Here is vir, and here is femina. So if you're a boy, someday you'll grow up into vir, and if you're a girl, someday you'll grow up into femina. And here is piscis. Piscis lives in water. Some live in fresh water and some live out in the ocean. Do you have a pet piscum at home? Now, imagine that there's something delicious in your kitchen. Maybe a cookie or maybe a favorite piece of fruit. Well, what are you going to do to ask for it? You're going to go to your mom or dad and you're going to say, I wolo that treat. And they'll say, you wish that treat? Here you go. So wolo is a very important word if there's something that you see out there that you would like to ask for. Do you wish to hear a story today? In today's story, we're going to hear all about the things that femina wold, and they're not things that wir wold. And finally, there's going to be a lot of talking in today's story. Wir will speak and then femina will speak. And so I will say, when I introduce those words, inquit vir or inquit femina, so that you know the words that belong to each of them. All right, we're ready for the fisherman and his wife. There was once vir and femina, who lived in a hovel by the seashore. And vir went out every day with his hook and line to catch pisces. One day he was sitting with his rod and looking into the clear water. At last he drew up his line to find a great piscum on the hook. And piscis inquit to him, Sir, listen to me, let me go. I am not a real piscis, but an enchanted prince. What good shall I be to you if you keep me? I shall not taste well. So put me back into the water again, let me swim it away, and some day I may do you good. Then vir put piscum back into the clear water, and it swam to the bottom. Vir got up and went home to his wife in their hovel. Well, husband, inquit femina, have you caught nothing today? No, inquit vir. That is, I did catch piscum, but he told me he was an enchanted prince, so I let him go again. Enchanted? Did you not ask for something? Inquit femina. No, inquit vir. What should I wolo? Oh, dear, inquit femina. It is so dreadful always to live in this evil-smelling hovel. Go again and call him. Tell him we walumus a little cottage. I dare say he can give it to us. Go and be quick. And when vir went back, the sea was green and yellow, and not nearly so clear. So he stood and inquit, O vir, if vir you be, or piscis, piscis in the sea, such a tiresome wife I've got, for she wolt what I do not. Then piscis came swimming up and inquit, What does she wolt? Oh, inquit vir, she does not wolt to live in a hovel, but would rather have a cottage. Go home with you, inquit piscis, she has it already. So vir went home, and to his surprise found a pretty little cottage with a garden, and femina sitting on a bench before the door. She took him by the hand. Look, inquit femina, is not this nice? Yes, inquit vir. If this can only last, we shall be very well contented. We will see about that, inquit femina. So all went well for a week or a fortnight, when femina inquit, Look here, husband, the cottage is really too confined, and the yard and garden are so small. I think piscum had better get us a larger house. I should very much like to live in a great stone castle. So go to your piscum, and he will send us a castle. Oh, my dear wife, inquit vir, the cottage is good enough. I do not like to go to him again. He may be angry. Go along, inquit femina. Piscis can give us one. Do as I say. vir felt very reluctant and unwilling, and he thought to himself, It is not the right thing to do. Nevertheless, he went. So when he came to the seaside, the water was purple and dark blue and gray and thick. And he stood and inquit, O weir, if weir you be, O piscis, piscis in the sea, such a tiresome wife I've got, for she wolt what I do not. What does she wolt now? Inquit piscis. Oh, inquit weir, half frightened, she wolt to live in a large stone castle. Go home with you, she is already standing before the door, inquit piscis. Then Weir went home, and when he got there stood in the place of the cottage a great castle of stone, and Femina was standing on the steps. She took him by the hand. There, inquit Femina, is not this beautiful? Oh, yes, inquit Weir. If it will only last, we can live in this fine castle and be very well contented. We will see about that, inquit Femina. The next morning, Femina was awake at the break of day, and she looked out and saw from her bed the beautiful country lying all around. She poked Wierum in the side with her elbow and inquit, Husband, get up and just look out the window. Look, just think if we could be emperors of all these lands. Just go to your piskim and tell him we wolumos to be emperors. Wife, inquit Weir, what should we be emperors for? Well, inquit Femina, if you do not want to be emperor, I will be emperor. You must go directly all the same. As he went, he felt very uncomfortable about it, and he thought to himself, it is not at all the right thing to do. Welle to be emperor is really going too far. Piscis will soon get tired of this. With that he came to the sea, and the water was quite black and thick, and the foam flew, and the wind blew, and Weir was terrified. But he stood and inquit, O weir, if weir you be, or piscis, piscis in the sea, such a tiresome wife I've got, for she wolt what I do not. What is it now? Inquit piscis. Oh dear, inquit Weir, my wife wolt to be emperor. Go home with you, inquit piscis, she is emperor already. So Weir went home and found Femina sitting upon a throne made of one entire piece of gold, and before her stood earls and dukes and crowds. So Weir went up to her and inquit, Well, wife, there is nothing left to be now you are emperor. We will see about that, inquit Femina. But she was as far as ever from being contented, and that night she could not get to sleep for thinking of what she should like to be next. As the sun came up the next morning, she exclaimed, Ah, I have it! What if I should make the sun and moon to rise? Husband, she cried, and stuck her elbow in his ribs, wake up and go to your piskim and tell him I will the power over the sun and moon. Oh, wife, inquit Weir, and fell on his knees to her, Piscis can really not do that for you. I grant you he could make you emperor. Do be contented with that, I beg of you. And she became wild with impatience and screamed out, I can wait no longer. Go at once. So off he went as well as he could for fright. And a dreadful storm arose, and houses and trees were blown down, and the mountains trembled, and rocks fell into the sea. So he cried out without being able to hear his own words, O weir, if weir you be, or piscis, piscis in the sea, such a tiresome wife I've got, for she wolt what I do not. Well, what now? Inquit piscis. Oh dear, inquit Weir, she wolt to order about the sun and the moon. Go home with you, inquit piscis. You will find her in the old hovel. And there they are sitting to this very day. The end. Thanks for joining me today for Latin Storytime. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey parents, I want to help your kids keep learning Latin beyond our storytime together. Visit latinstorytime.com/signup for free access to each of my parents' guides, where I give you a list of the new words your child learned today and some tips to help you practice those words naturally in your daily life. And remember to click the YouTube subscribe button so you catch each new episode. Thanks for watching, and I hope your family enjoys your Latin learning together.